pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. This is Monday, January 7th. If you have any business questions coming up, give us your name and address and tell us what's on your mind. Before we get into the actual meeting, where we have the Honorable Michael Howell here tonight to swear in the council. So, Mr. What's in the council? Stand up, please.
Basically, as we get to it, since I'm doing this for everybody at one time, when we get to what office you'll faithfully perform, just state the office that you're elected to. So with that in mind, if you'd raise your right hands, repeat after me. I do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of this state,
the Constitution of this state,
the Charter of the City of St. Clair,
the Charter of the City of St. Clair,
and that I will faithfully perform the duties of the office I'm elected, and state it.
And I will faithfully perform the duties of the office of mayor.
perform the duties of council member.
Second word, Council.
First word.
And for the City of St. Clair,
And for the city of St. Clair,
County of St. Clair,
County of St. Clair,
and the State of Michigan,
The state of Michigan.
according to the best of my abilities.
according to the best of my abilities.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. The longest short north there is. All right, you call the roll, please.
Motion adjourned.
Cedar,
Here.
Ellery,
Here.
Kinsfater.
Here.
Lupa, Laporte,
Here.
McCartney.
Here.
Watt,
Here.
Motion to excuse member Kufa.
Support the motion.
All right, the motion made and supported to excuse member Koof. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Work consent agenda, number 5. A, City Council minutes of December 17th, 2018, regular meeting, recommendation approved. And B is the St. Clair Historical Commission minutes of November 18th, 2018 meeting, recommendation received. Your wishes?
Make a motion, we approve as read. Support.
Motion made, supported. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Number 6 is a public hearing. I'm going to open the public hearing for the vacation of 7th Street in Mulberry. Mr. Downey, you want to give us a little rundown on that before we open it to the public?
Yes, Your Honor. The vacation of 7th and Mulberry Street is a request that's been made by Greco Title Insurance Company of Mount Clemens. They are the agent for East China School District, which owns the former St. Clair Middle School and the parking lot immediately north of the building it's between 8th and 9th Street and between Orchard and Thornapple Streets. In preparing the title work for East China Schools, who is in the process of trying to sell the property, they've determined that the City of St. Clair needs to take several actions in order for them to perfect their title insurance policy. What they determined was that the City of St. Clair has never vacated 7th Street between Mulberry and Thornapple, nor has it vacated Mulberry Street between 6th and 8th Street, or Mulberry between 8th and 9th Street. So what Greco Title has requested is that the city vacate those streets, and further, with respect to the parcel of vacated Mulberry between 8th and 9th, also execute a quitclaim deed in favor of East China Schools that would alleviate any sort of interest that the city might have. So in order to do a vacation of the streets as requested by Greco Title, the city is required to conduct a public hearing to hear comment from any property owners who are assessed within 300 feet of that vacation.
We'll open it to the public. Anybody have any questions, comments, anything on their mind about this?
Mike, I'm at 115 North,
Come to the mic.
Fifth
Oh, I'm sorry, come up to the microphone, please. Maybe give us your name and address, please.
Kim Herndon at 115 North Fifth Street. I got a letter from you. I guess my question is, so East China is selling the school, or selling the street that are vacated, or want to be vacated. I guess my question is, what, if we do go ahead and sign off on it, what is the worst that can happen? You know, like, what does that really mean? To give up the streets that have been the streets for, what, over 100 years, something like that? I mean, because obviously the property's being sold, right? So what does that mean? Does that mean that the person that's purchasing that property then has full autonomy on all that street and the access?
I'll do my best to answer the question.
Yeah.
What the vacation will accomplish is give legal effect to what the reality is here in 2018. For example, 7th Street in Mulberry hasn't existed since the school, I guess it was originally St. Clair High School,
Right.
Existed, and I think there's some question whether there ever was a 7th and 8th Street on that parcel. But on a plat map somewhere, there exists a 7th Street and a Mulberry Street that lies underneath this school building. And what the title company is afraid of is that if the city were to come back and assert some sort of a privilege on these streets that lie beneath the school building, they would be implicated on their title insurance policy, having guaranteed title to the purchaser of the property from East China Schools. Likewise, the parking lot, it's a little different story to the north, because as I understand it, there were buildings at one point that abutted Mulberry, but over the course of years, the property's essentially been surrendered in favor of East China Schools. Yet, there is this Mulberry Street that continues to exist legally, although there's not really a street there.
Right.
And we're simply giving effect to the fact that there's a parking lot there at this time.
Okay.
They're not getting any streets that exist right now. These streets theoretically exist underneath the building, but were
Right.
never removed.
That makes sense, but what about, what is it, between 8th and 9th? That parking lot, road, half road or whatever, that's also included in on the vacate?
We're vacating Mulberry Street between 8th and 9th as a part of that parking lot, correct?
Okay, so that's kind of like a street, right? I mean, that's like an alleyway?
It's the parking lot. It's-
Yeah,
it's the-
parking
it's
lot?
the
Okay,
access to
so
the
that,
parking
is
lot.
that owned by East China then? Is that what you're saying?
East China has owned it since they purchased it.
Okay.
But again, legally, there's a plat map somewhere that says Mulberry Street runs down the middle.
So
And-
there's no way of just vacating up to that parking street, that alleyway, and leaving that alleyway alone? I mean, is there any way of doing that, or is it all or nothing? I'm just curious.
I suppose that the city could decline to cooperate, and then I guess it would be up to the East China School District to determine what their remedy is, what they want to do, because
Yeah.
they've purchased this over a period of years,
Yeah,
and it's been for their use.
okay. So do they have somebody that's interested now in purchasing that property?
I
Is
understand
that why
there-
it's
I
coming
understand
up?
there's been a purchase agreement signed, and that's why
Okay.
East China engaged Greco Title to prepare the title insurance work.
Okay, and do we know that person? Or that,
Yeah, I believe it's an entity, I'm not sure if it's
Is it Planet Clair?
Planet Clair LLC that owns the St. Clair Inn, or some derivation of that. But the
Okay.
principal, Jeff Katofsky, who's behind Planet Clair LLC, he is the agent behind that purchase as well.
okay. Do we know then what he wants to do with the property, or has, what his intentions are?
I don't know. I mean, I guess this is going a little far afield on the basis of the public hearing on the vacation.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is being done at
Okay.
the request of East China
Okay.
Schools Title
Because
Insurance
it just
Company.
brings up a lot of questions in my mind, that's all. So, okay, well, that was it. That's for my questions. Thanks.
Anybody else?
I have a question. My name is Brenda Gadani, and I live directly behind the school. I live on 209 North 8th Street, right there by Thornapple. And I was wondering how that's going to affect us with the construction. I wasn't sure. I got this letter. I was on vacation, and I got this letter in the mail yesterday. Well, this is the first I opened it, so I never really got a chance to research it or to try to figure out what was going on with this property. I know somebody did buy the school across from me, but I was wondering how that was going to affect our neighborhood and what was going to happen. If you're saying this is too far ahead right now to talk about this, but I just would like to know what's happening with that area.
I'm not aware of any specific plans. The purchaser is not required to offer those to the city while the seller is seeking to get the title quieted. And that's essentially what this title insurance company is requesting the city to do.
Okay, I didn't know exactly what this entailed tonight or what it was about, so.
I think if the developer of the property has an intention to do some construction on the site or remodifications, they would have to come to the city to do that once they've completed a purchase. But they have not purchased the property yet. There's an agreement to do that,
Okay.
but it's conditioned on East China Schools being able to transfer a clear title to the purchaser. And that's why Greco Title has contacted the city. Because at this point, Greco Title does not believe East China School District can convey clear title absent a vacation of these streets.
So that's all this meeting is for, is just the streets?
The vacation of 7th between Thornapple and Orchard, and Mulberry between 6th and 8th, and Mulberry between 8th and 9th.
Okay, because that's very, very close. That's like a block from my house, and I just wanted to know what was really happening. So that's why I came. Thank you.
Thank you,
I
Brenda.
hope that helps.
It doesn't really.
Hi, I'm Joni Shirkey, 103 North 7th. Asking kind of the same question everybody else already asked, but differently. I guess when I researched it to see what the vacation meant, I was under the impression that it was going to become a private road. And I think from the sounds of it, I'm wrong on that. And I just wanted to see if there was going to be any additional costs, responsibilities, or restrictions for the homeowners that received letters about the hearing. Due to this.
Let me answer the second question first. There's no added cost or responsibility for the neighboring property owners.
Okay, I didn't know if you'd be responsible to maintain the roads or if it was just.
Well, what'll happen is if the sale is consummated, the purchaser of the property will be responsible for all that area.
Okay.
But keeping in mind, of course, that Mulberry between 6th and 8th and 7th between Thornapple and Orchard have never been streets. They're actually underneath the building itself. I think that if you're looking at an aerial, the intersection would be right dead center of the school. The only parcel that's actually traversed, as one of the earlier speakers mentioned, is there's a driveway into the parking lot, which is actually Mulberry Street between 8th and 9th. So the new purchaser, or East China Schools, if the sale does not occur, would be responsible for maintaining that. Now, your first question, does this make the streets private? I guess that's conditioned on the sale. What the vacation means is that the city is no longer responsible for them. So whether that means that they're public or private, I guess, I guess conceivably it's going to make them private because they're bounded by parcels that are owned by East China School District. So they would become a part of East China Schools parcel. And that's why Greco Title Insurance Company wants that this development to occur so that their client, East China, can convey clear title to the purchaser.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hi, I'm Kathy Stockia. I'm at 414 Adams. I'm here on behalf of my parents who live at 113 North 8th. This is about the vacation of the road, but things are changing. And what kind of notification, or what do you call this, public hearing is going to be with the future activity of the building? Will we be informed of that, or will it just be pushed under the rug because he owns that property and we're not going to know what's happening to the property? It's just going to turn into 60 units, or it's going to turn into a gymnasium, or it's going to turn into, I mean, people live there, and it's a thoroughfare right now, and if you get 60 units, the safety of the neighborhood is going to be up in arms, you know? I mean, my mom tries to ride her bike out on Thornapple to 8th right now, and she gets run over regularly. If there's 60 more people living in the school, I mean, are we going to be able to have a hearing on what is made of the school?
Any site plan would go to planning and it'd have a public hearing at the planning, commission level?
Well, first there would require a rezone probably.
So, but there'd be a public hearing.
Right now,
It'd be a public hearing, though.
there would be a public hearing for.
You'd be notified,
a public-
just like you were for this.
not for the-
Right, but I mean, this is going to happen. I mean, do we have a vote today of, like, everybody that's here is going to be able to say, yay, we're going to vacate, or nay, we're not going to vacate?
Yes.
That's how it's going to be today?
Well, this body, yes.
Well, okay, but I mean, you guys don't live on those streets, you know? So it's just, it's a small town and the inn is changing. That's wonderful. But now something's happening at the middle school, and yes, it needs to evolve. I understand that, but the dynamic of the neighborhood could be turned upside down. And that's the concern that we've got here. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hi, I'm Ann Macy. I live in the corner of 7th and Thornapple. And I guess my question is just, this building is about 40 feet away from my house. Is it going to affect 7th and Thornapple as far as any change to the roads or any, I don't know how to
I
explain
don't
it.
anticipate any change to the roads,
I mean,
existing roads.
the access to it or whatever, because if they start building, there's going to be a lot of construction and, you know what I'm trying to say,
Physically,
Wayne?
everything stays the same.
Oh, if
Yeah.
the privatization is over on 7th Street, that's our driveway. Okay. Ooh, sorry, 9 days out of brain surgery. Yeah. Hi, my name is Wayne Macy. I live at 115 North 7th as well. I'm just wondering if 7th Street is privatized, as the whole conceivable area would be, that's where our driveway is.
7th Street's not being privatized.
Oh, I just thought you said the whole way around.
What lies beneath the St. Clair Middle School property, there's a 7th Street that runs across the
Okay,
property.
I wasn't sure exactly what you meant by that. That's why
It bounded on to the south by Thornapple and by the north to Orchard.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were talking about the under the school part or the 7th Street and Thornapple that already exists.
No, they are not implicated in this in any way.
That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck. Mr. Kleeman.
Bill Clinton, 1334 South Riverside. Jim, I'm gonna ask you a question. I was told that in order to vacate, the city has, by state law, has to sue the adjacent property owners.
No, they do not. If they wish to have the plat amended, there's some authority that says that they do. But that's not what we're being asked to do here. We're simply being asked to vacate the property.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Anybody else?
I get something non-school related, is that okay?
Is it about this public hearing, though?
No.
Okay, save it then, okay? Anybody else?
I have one more question. Our driveway is right there on North 8th Street.
Oh, you got a couple in mind, I'm sorry. The TV guy.
Our driveway's right there on North 8th Street. When they start construction, how's that going to affect us as far as getting in and out of our driveway and accessing our property?
If and when it comes to that point, we always make sure that in the pre-construction meetings, people have access to their homes, their driveways, their garages, whatever.
I know, because we heard that we were going to have to park a couple blocks away. Is that true?
I
Okay,
can't answer that right now. I don't know what's going to happen.
all right. Well, thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? All right, thank you, Bill, Brenda, Joni, Ann, Brian, Kathy, Kim. At this time, we'll close the public hearing. I appreciate everyone's input. We'll go to number 7. Ordinances Resolution A 1901, vacation of 7th Street, Mulberry. Mr. Downey?
Your Honor, before the City Council is a proposed resolution that would vacate 7th Street and Mulberry Street has been previously discussed at the public hearing per the request of the title insurance company representing East China School District.
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve the ordinance to vacate 7th Street in Mulberry as presented to council.
I support.
All right, the motion is made by Member McCartney, supported by Member Ellery, the resolution 1901, the vacation of 7th Street in Mulberry. Any questions from council? Call the roll, please.
Ellery,
Yes.
Kinsler.
Yes.
Laporte,
Yes.
McCartney,
Yes.
Lot,
Yes.
Cedar.
Yes.
Carried, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Go to Reports Administration. Mr. Downey, have anything else?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Are there any city departments here tonight? D is authorities and boards and commissions and committee chairs and council reps. Anybody have anything? All right, number 9, we have no unfinished business. We'll go to 10, new business. A is the selection of Mayor Pro Tem. At this time, I'd ask for the endorsement from council to select Member Laporte as the Pro Tem.
Support.
All right, the motion made, supported. Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Go to B, select the city council goal-setting workshop. I'd like to have a goal-setting workshop on February 18th at 6 PM. February 18th, 6 PM, so we can get this new council, sit down and talk about some things and what's been happening, what we want to see happening.
Can I have that
February
date
8th
one more time, Mayor?
February 18th, 6 o'clock.
Thank you. That's a Monday?
Yes. All right, we will go to C, schedule a ZBA public hearing for January 21st, 2019, 6:15 for that ZBA meeting?
Yes,
Is that correct?
that's correct.
Right, and that is for,
We've received an application from First Congregational Church at 300 Adams for a variance of the zoning ordinance dealing with signs.
all right. So this city council will meet as the ZBA that evening at 6:15 on January 21st, which is our next regularly scheduled meeting. We'll go to D, boards and commissions appointments. Please be patient with me. I have a lot of appointments tonight at the start of the new year. I'll go through them all, and then if the council has any questions, we can do that. Board of Review, reappoint Blake Eitner, Bill Engelthal, Ken Maddock, and Judy Shawn for one-year terms expiring December 31st, 2019. Building Commission, reappoint Urban Griefor and Bill Kleeman for three-year terms expiring December 31st, 2021. Cemetery Board of Trustees, reappoint Nancy Schreiner for a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2021. Electrical Board, reappoint Delos Boyer for a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2021. Harbor Commission, reappoint Nancy Boda and Keith Wynn for 3-year terms expiring December 31st, 2021. Historical Commission, reappoint Mary Boda, Georgiana Burns, and Joanne Kinsfader for 3-year terms expiring December 31st, 2021. Housing Commission, reappoint Mary Kelly for a 5-year term expiring December 31st, 2023. Library Board, reappoint Mike McCartan for a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2021. Reappoint Kathy McConnell for a 1-year term expiring December 31st, 2019. Planning Commission, reappoint Nancy Boda and Paul Wade for 3-year terms expiring December 31st, 2021. Planning Maintenance Board of Appeals, reappoint Delos Boyer for a 1-year term expiring December 31st, 2019, and Chris Fisher for a 2-year term expiring December 31st, 2020. Recreation Commission, reappoint Blake Eitner and Jim Shafford for 3-year terms expiring December 31st, 2021. Zoning Board of Appeals, reappoint Ralph Gazowski, Doug Glassford, and Doug Vernia for 3-year terms expiring December 31st, 2021. I-69 International Trade Corridor Michigan Development Corporation Board members, reappoint Mike Booth and alternate Butch Kinsfader for a 1-year term expiring December 31st, 2019. Southeastern Michigan Council of Governments, appoint Mike Laporte and Annette Sturdy for 1-year terms to expire December 31st, 2019. I'll ask for a motion to approve those appointments.
I make a motion, Your Honor, approve as presented.
Did you get a support?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, motion been made, support. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I also have some reappointments that will need residency waivers. Steve Postel and Keith Kleeman, both of St. Clair Township, to the Electrical Board for 3-year terms expiring December 31st, 2021, and Ron Brenner of North Street and Robert Freehan of East China to the Historical Commission for 3-year terms expiring December 31st, 2021. I'll need a motion.
I'd make the motion, Your Honor, to approve and waive the residency clause.
Support.
All right. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. I do have a couple quick announcements related to this. We have current vacancies on the Beautification Commission and the Cemetery Board of Trustees. Applications are available at City Hall or on the City St. Clair website. As you can see, there's numerous commissions and boards and committees. We have a lot of people that volunteer, and we certainly appreciate all of you doing that. And I appreciate your patience as I go through that. I know it's not the most exciting thing you ever heard, but it's what we have to do. All right, we'll go to E, special event permit, St. Clair Marble Eye Classic Walleye Tournament. Jody.
I apologize, Chief Rager could not be here this evening. So for the, excuse me, 16th Annual Marble Eye Classic Walleye Tournament, the chief is in receipt for the request for approval for the special event. It's the 16th Annual Classic Walleye Tournament to be held May 17th through May 19th at the St. Clair City Harbor Rotary Park. The Harbor Commission has approved this event, and we have all the necessary documents that are in compliance with the city ordinance.
Make a motion to approve.
Support.
Any questions?
Just one. Is it the 16th or the 18th? It's the 18th. They conflict. You get two different letters, and one's 16th, one is 18th. Yep.
So it's the 16th Annual between the 17th and the 19th.
Okay, the motion's been made and supported to issue the special event permit for the 18th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you, Julie. All right, we'll go to right-of-way waiver for St. Clair Realty. Mr. Boyer, are you out there? Want to come up and explain this to us, please?
Yes, what we've got is, we've got a construction fence along M29 at the St. Clair end from one end to the other. And they've got some contractor signage on it, which the signage is fine, but they're not meeting the ordinance as far as, they're in the right-of-way. Section 6.5.1 gives the city council the authority to prove it in the right-of-way. This will be a temporary deal. As far as the construction fence goes, that'll probably be gone sometime early spring or late spring. Also, at the same time, St. Clair Realty will be impacted on the other side of the street once they start the other building. They were down there, they were down for a short time here a couple weeks ago when they were doing some bores under M29. They are requesting some directional signage to redirect the traffic to Vine, and then they come in on 2nd Street, and eventually, when it's all done, their entry will come through the parking lot of the west side property that the inn owns, and they will come off of Vine Street. But as of now, you've got to turn on Vine, go to 2nd, you come up 2nd a little bit, and then you turn in, and there's a temporary drive that she can have access to during the construction.
All right, so F and G both are temporary signage.
St. Clair Realty will probably need some permanent signage eventually. What they may request, I don't really know yet, but I'm sure only for the simple fact they will not have an entry off M29 as they do now.
Right. But tonight,
Will there be an entry at all off M29?
Nope, not to St. Clair Realty, no.
Goes through the parking lot.
It's through the parking lot, the future parking lot.
all right, so let's deal with F first, the St. Clair Realty one. This is a temporary sign request.
I'll make a motion to approve the waiver.
Support that waiver.
Is there support for that?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. So the motion's made by Kinsfater, supported by McCartney, for the temporary signage right-of-way waiver for St. Clair Realty. Any questions from council?
It's temporary to when?
I would request that we do it through their permit stage or when that parking lot's done. It's got to be through all their construction, which I know that it only says, the ordinance says 180 days, but, you know, that's all our permits, building permits are good for, but I have the authority to renew those permits, and I would like to be able to have them have their signage until such time as they can use the parking.
All right, let's call the roll, please. Oh, sorry.
Bill Clinton, South Riverside. I just want some clarification, because when I read it, it says, in no case located in the right-of-way. What does no case mean?
Which one are you reading, Bill?
655B, non-residential district. Last sentence says, in no case to be located in the right-of-way. And section C, display period, it also says, in no case shall be more than 180 days.
And that's what I just said.
Yeah, but it says, no case, it should be more than 180 days. It don't say anything in here where you can grant,
No, I
More
can
than
grant a
180
building
days.
permit, I can extend the building permit.
but my
And
question is,
request-
I understand that, but my question is, what does in no case shall mean? What does in no case mean? The ordinance reads, in no case shall construction sign be permitted more than 180 days.
Without exception.
Well, it don't, where does it say that in there for exceptions? I don't understand, I'm not smart.
6.5.1 gives the city council, they can give anybody permission to put something in the right of way.
They can give the city, county, or the state permission.
No, that's not correct.
Then what does in no case shall mean? That's my question. What does that mean?
Without exception, unless that permission's granted.
I don't know, these things, the way I read them, and I'm no attorney, trust me, but it's,
I mean, the way that's written I can see how you got confused. The county or the state doesn't need the permission, I would assume.
well, the way I read it, they do, but that's, like I said, I read something.
No, other than that. Anybody else need?
I don't know, I didn't read where it says you have the right to go beyond 180 days.
On a building permit, you misunderstood me, Bill. What I said was, I can extend a building permit, that's all the permits are good for. Or I can extend to more than 180 days. We know the St. Clair Inn couldn't be done in 6 months.
Exactly.
Okay? Now, I extend those permits, okay? And what I'm requesting is that they're allowed, as long as that fence is up, the construction fence is up, and we need the directional signage for St. Clair Realty, that we're able to have it for a longer period of time.
All right, on another note, they're gonna take the fence off the sidewalk?
I don't see how they can, actually.
All right, let's deal with St. Clair Realty first. Let's call the roll, please.
Kinsfather?
Yes.
Report?
Yes.
McCartney?
Yes.
Lot?
Yes.
Ellery?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Carried, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Now, Dee, do you want to come back? Well, I guess you already did it, but this is G is the right-of-way for Planet Claire with the fence with the construction signs on there. All right.
I'd make a motion to approve the waiver
I'll
for.
support.
All right, the motion made by McCartney and supported by Kinsfather to grant the right-of-way waiver. Any questions about that one?
I do want to explain the reason for my approval of this. We have a major construction project going on in the city of St. Clair that the owner of the property is hiring everybody he can from the community and surrounding community. And to me, I think it's a badge of honor if I have a local business is posting what he's doing in the city of St. Clair. And I really, for this project, I don't see the harm in it. Actually, I wouldn't see the harm in any project in St. Clair that's hiring and local contractors to be able to advertise that. So that's the reason why
All right.
I agree with the waiver.
All right, yes.
I feel as if it's a safety issue too. That fence along there, so people aren't walking in by.
All right, call the roll, please.
Report?
Yes.
McCartney?
Yes.
Lot?
Yes.
Ellery?
Yes.
Kinsfather?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Carried, Your Honor.
All right, let's go to number 11, claims and accounts. December 21st, 27th, 2018, and January 4th, 2019.
Hearing no questions, Your Honor, make a motion to approve as presented.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Number 12 is public comment. Anybody have anything tonight? You're up. Give us your name and address if you would, please.
Tom Jaloski, 1424 South Riverside Avenue. Got a problem with the sewer. I had spent Christmas with a plumber, getting the basement drained. Went ahead and paid extra money, had him run the camera out with a locator to find out where the break was. It's 90 feet out from the house, which is across the street right at the sewer. So after about $350, I found out that I've got a sewer break, not a pipe break.
What's your address again?
1424 South Riverside.
And what's your last name?
Jaloski, Jalosky.
Has DPW been out there?
No, I have not called anybody. I just came up here to see what we need to do to get this moving and get it fixed. Because it's not a matter of if they will plug up again, it's when.
And who cambered it?
Done right, sewer and drain. I've got a copy for the council if they need it.
And you know what, I'll give that to Mr. Booth tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll go into City Hall early in the morning and I'll give this to Mr. Booth and then he'll talk to,
Yeah, we figured we'd have to be digging up the yard, so we had him run the camera out and the locator. And it's right at the sewer. It's busted loose.
Right.
So there's chunks falling into the drain.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'll give
Well, it was
this to the
only
first
an
thing.
inch
Yeah,
of water in the
yeah.
basement, so, you know.
No, I've had that problem. It's terrible. It's the
No
worst.
boats or
Yeah.
kids floating. So.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
I could blame it on John. His tree fell on the sewer. I think.
Yeah.
Anything you can blame on John, do
That's a
it.
city street, that wasn't my street.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Nobody wants a tree when there's something
Yeah,
falling down.
anything we can do, my phone number, if you need it. You want to put it on there? It should
Yeah.
be on there, I think.
Yeah.
810-533-4227.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Who else?
Kathy Stocky again, 414 Adams. I have two comments. You have the street list of horrible streets. Well, the fifth between Jay and Thornapple is never on this list, and it's horrible. It's down to gravel in 3 large trunks.
What street now?
Fifth Street between Jay and Thornapple.
Jay and Thornapple.
I mean,
Fifth
you
Street.
can get airborne if you go up Fifth over Adams. I mean, it's just a huge hole. I mean, I've walked up Thornapple, which is on the list of, oh my God, it's horrible, and Thornapple's got nothing on Fifth Street. So please add that to your list. And second of all, for all the walkers in town that like to use the sidewalk, there are numerous cases of arborvitae trees, pine trees, cedar trees, spruce trees that are well over the sidewalk clearance. You have to walk into the street to get around the tree. And so there's one on, let me see here, Trumbull and 6th, there's one on 3rd and J, there's one on 7th at Adams, or Adams at 7th. I mean, all over the place, you don't have full access to the sidewalk. So somehow we need to do whatever city people do to make the sidewalks clear. Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Freeman's got his hand up, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Bill Clinton, 1374 South Riverside. I asked a few questions a while back, still kind of waiting on some answers. The park down at the corner of South Riverside and 29, I guess St. Clair Park, whatever it is right there. The light on the flagpole's been out better 2-3 weeks. Flags flying in the dark. There's a street light on the corner of 8th, South Riverside Harriet, that I've asked about 9 weeks ago. That's still out. And a while back, I asked about the pilot payment that the Housing Commission made to the city. I'd like to know how much it was. The ordinance has been in effect for 22 months. The city should have received some money by now.
Wait a minute, go back to the second thing, what was that second thing he
Street
said?
light at South Riverside and Harriet's been out for going on 3 months. And I've asked numerous times.
South Riverside and Harriet?
Yep.
And what's that third thing?
The pilot payment that the Housing Commission has to pay the city. The ordinance been on the book for 22 months. I asked how much the payment was. Haven't got an answer yet, and I would think that in 22 months, they would have made a payment by now. And my third question is.
Fourth.
Fourth question. I received my cable bill, and I asked the question, I had an increase, and I asked the question, does that have to be approved by the council? Any increase in the cable bill?
I don't think we have, I wish we did, I wish we could.
Well, when I read the ordinance, it states something in there about the cable bill. Cable increases. And that was
Might be the
question
franchise
I
fee?
asked. No.
No, no.
And I asked the question, I'm waiting on an answer. So we worked on them 4, and I got a few more that, when I get an answer on them 4, we'll come back with some more.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Well, thank you. Anybody else? Oh, yep. Kim?
Just a thought, hi, again, Kim. 115 North Fifth Street. As you know, we're on a corner. So we're on the corner of Fifth and Thornapple. And Thornapple seems to be a really wild road quite a bit. Yeah, you have the stop at 6th. But they come, after that, they come flying through down that way. And I didn't know if there's any way, down Thornapple, if there's any way you can put like a yield or another stop sign, something to slow that traffic down. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like you've got 6th and Thornapple, and it's all of Thornapple coming all the way down past 5th, 4th, 3rd.
So the four-way at 6th and Thornapple, right? Four-way
Yes.
stop? And then from Thornapple 6th to east to the 3rd, there's nothing?
Right,
I know what you're saying.
yeah. So there's a lot of speeding and a lot of traffic that goes through there quite a bit. So it's kind of scary sometimes, especially if you're walking or if you got your dog out.
Thank you, Kim.
Ann Macy, 115 North 7th. 2 questions. I agree with her on the speeding on Thornapple because I live in the corner of 7th and Thornapple. And the speeds that some people can get up to from 9th to the corner of 6th where the stop sign is unreal. I have a son in a wheelchair. So it's a big concern, that whole road is, as far as the way people speed along there. Second of all, is there any plans to do anything to the road to Thornapple at this point? As far as repaving, redoing anything to it?
West of 9th, I know is on the list for the spring.
Yeah, between 6th and 9th, though, is just as horrible.
Because right now, like I said, I have a son in a wheelchair. When I come out the ramp and on the sidewalk, I have to go onto Thornapple. Unless I want to go 2 miles out of my way along the sidewalk, some of which are also not amenable to his wheelchair. Numerous times, I have had to hold his chair back from him falling and tipping over. If he does tip over, I'm going to have a real problem with that. So I'm trying to find out if something can be done there, if they can do something to that road. It's horrible. It's got ruts everywhere. And, you know, wheelchair wheels are about that big, so they're just perfect to catch in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just hoping that, you know, they can put that on the list of doing something there.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, thank you all. We'll go to number 12 then, Mayor and Council. I have a couple things. Reminder, January 23rd, 7 o'clock, Winter Whiteout, Belvedere competition at Riverside Bar. 23rd. February 9th is the Chili Heart 5K. And City Council commissions. I would like to start getting the City Council committees and commission appointments made, so in the next week or two, if you guys, council members would contact me, talk to me, let me know what you're on, what maybe you want to get off of or whatever, just so we can kind of start pulling that together.
Doesn't
Anybody
the
else
new
have-
council rep have to serve on all of them for 2 years?
I thought I got the pick, right?
Anybody else have anything?
Mention anything about John Cummings?
Oh, John Cummings, I'm so sorry, thank you. Yeah, you know, we are also very fortunate to have John Cummings in our community. What a great man he was, gentleman, scholar, You know, of course, I'm sure you know that he passed away, and I was lucky enough to be his neighbor too, and he's just a nice fella. Yeah, and he served this city very well. Steve, I know you were pretty close with him. Do you have anything you want to say, or do you want to?
No, not at this
All
time.
right, all right.
Nothing else, Your Honor, I make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Thanks for coming. Due courtesy.